皆さんまた来てくださってありがとうございます。ちょっと今噛んだということで今日は月曜日です。でね、月曜日はまだ今週のっていうのが出てないので、今日は日曜日にスカイニュースで受けたインタビュー、私が受けてないね。スカイニュースが、スティーブ・バノンさんっていう人にインタビューしたのがあるんですね。このスティーブ・バノンさんっていうのはちょっと過激な人で、トランプ大統領の、戦略チーフをやったことがある人です。ということで、なかなか内容面白いので、ぜひ見てください。どうぞ。
Trump administration chief strategist Steve Bannon, and I spoke to him about the upcoming 2024 election in the US. Steve Bannon, what's your tip for 2024? Will Donald Trump run again?
Oh, it's not even a question. He's definitely going to run. But I would tell your audience, focus on 2022 first. 2022 is how we stop this. We're going to have a sweeping. I think we can pick up 100 seat pickup in the House of Representatives. I think we can flip the Senate. What your audience should look at, Sherry, we intend to destroy the Democratic Party as a national political institution, from school boards all the way up to state legislatures, attorney general, secretaries of state, to the House and the Senate. President Trump's definitely running in 2024, but the preamble to that is to destroy the Democratic Party.
You've spoken to him about that? He's told you he's running in 2024?
I think you can see from his speeches at his rallies, he's definitely running. I don't think there's any doubt. No doubt that Donald Trump's running.
And if he wins, will we see you back in the White House?
You know what? I'm so happy during War Room and having guests like yourself introduce them to an American audience. Why would I want any other job?
If Trump isn't the candidate for some reason, who do you think would make the best presidential candidate? Mike Pompeo, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley. These seem to be the key people who've emerged as contenders should Trump decide not to run again.
Well, first off, I do think President Trump's going to decide to run, and I think he's going to win a sweeping landslide. If he doesn't, I don't want to speculate, but I would just tell people, it's not just conventional politicians to look for. I mean, Donald Trump was the most unconventional of all. We live in a time of, it's a fourth turning. We live in a time of increasing chaos and anarchy. I think you're going to see leaders come up that you would never even envision. So I would tell you, 2024 is a long time away. Right now, we've got 2022 we have to focus on because we can really deliver a death blow to the Democratic Party, and we intend to. But I will also tell your audience, just don't confine your looks to conventional politicians. We have some great conventional politicians, right? But I would look even broader than that.
Well, who? Is there another Donald Trump in the wings?
I think just stay tuned. Stay tuned. I think you're going to see a lot of surprises. But like I said, Trump's running, and Trump's going to win.
Yeah. What about the Democrats? Clearly, Joe Biden isn't going to run again. Who do you think will be their pick?
I think the person I spend most time looking at is Governor Newsom in California. Governor Newsom's going to end this year. Biden, Kamala Harris is going to be so crushed this November. The Democrats are going to be throwing a lot of people overboard. I think you're going to see a whole new, refreshed look at that. Somebody like maybe Michelle Obama, but I would put, for your audience, I would start paying a lot of attention to the governor of California, Gavin Newsom.
Look, I want to ask you a very specific question on China. I've been told by my sources that in a conversation that the then President Trump had with Chinese President Xi Jinping, he said to him, if you invade Taiwan, the United States will invade Beijing. Is this accurate, and are you familiar with this conversation?
I don't think there's any doubt that both Putin knew he could never do anything to Ukraine and specifically the Chinese Communist Party, not just Taiwan. I would actually say aspects of the South China Sea. Because remember, we changed the whole environment of the South China Sea to actually have our carrier battle groups go through there with our radars up, everything else. No, I think that he warned President Xi point blank, you are not going to mess with Taiwan on my watch. And I think Xi took that very seriously. None of this stuff in the Ukraine, what's happening in the Eurasian landmass, what's happening in Beijing with Taiwan, the South China Sea, never would have happened on Donald Trump's watch. I would also tell your audience right now that because of your reporting on the Wuhan lab and they're not allowing what you asked for from day one, an international consortium to get into Wuhan, they've got something that's out of control in China right now. They've got 200 million people in lockdown. One of the greatest cities in the world, Shanghai, a place I used to live, is in lockdown. they've got a serious problem. But yes, Donald Trump, you would have never seen any of this nonsense, and you didn't see any of this nonsense on Donald Trump's watch. President Trump had a number of tough conversations with President Xi. And President Xi knew that not to mess with Taiwan, and most particularly for your audience, the South China Sea. The South China Sea was also open for free navigation. So I think the world, for as much as the establishment hated Donald Trump, the mullahs, the gangsters in Iran, the gangsters in the KGB gangsters in Moscow, Xi's gangsters in Beijing, they feared Donald Trump. And that's why you didn't see anything happen on his watch.
Yeah. Now, Jared Kushner, according to media reports, has a book set for release sometime 2022. You famously had a tumultuous relationship in the White House, and there are media reports that this was partly why you left your job in the White House. Are you worried about what he's going to write in his book?
I'm not worried about what anybody writes in any book as long as they spell my name right. No, I'm not concerned at all. I could care less about all that. So no, if anybody wants to write, they can go ahead and write. I think people have a pretty good idea of what I stand for, where I stand, and what I do to kind of drive the action forward of the populist nationalist movement in this country and throughout the world.
I mean, it's a fascinating attitude you have, because quite similar to Trump, you are one of the more divisive figures in the United States. I've been told that you need bodyguards because of the threats to your life, partly from the Chinese Communist Party. Does it bother you being so disliked by half the population to the extent that you can't walk down the street freely?
Well, I would think about it for a second. It's not actually that bad, but I do watch myself around the CCP and some other people. Listen, anytime you've had these eras in American politics, it's divisive. I mean, Andrew Jackson was divisive. Abraham Lincoln was divisive. Franklin Roosevelt's divisive. The people around them were divisive. You go through divisive times. We're not going to have a group hug. Our country is divided on a philosophy of what we should be doing, either the woke globalists with the tech oligarchs or populist nationalism. I'm a proud populist nationalist. I'm not going to back down for a second. So if that's divisive, what the media says or what the tech oligarchs say, I've been banned on all the social media, I could care less. Our show's bigger than it's ever been. We have bigger impact. We're actually at the vanguard of this populist movement for people to get engaged, from school boards to city councils. We're winning on every aspect of it. I should be divisive because we're beating the globalists every day, and I'm proud of it. And hey, guess what?
Okay.
They have anything but division yet, because we're even going to be more divisive. We're going to take these guys down.
Steve Bannon, thank you very much for your time.